So basically I look crazy. So District 6 is never really talked about in the book. It's they say on the Capitol website that it's transportation, but that's kind of boring. So where I went with this is the only District 6 characters they meet in the Hunger Games, it's the second book, and they're Morphlings. So they're addicted to basically morphine. So I thought that'd be kind of fun to do like a psychedelic kind of play on that. So this is what I've got. It's kind of almost tropical, I guess, with the flower. The reason I did the flower was because they talk about in the book how these characters, when they're at the training and they're supposed to be like training for battle, these characters just go over to the body painting camouflage station and paint each other in crazy designs and stuff. So they do flowers, all sorts of stuff. So I kind of grabbed that. All the colors I used, or the majority of the stuff I used, it glows under the black light. So this look would work for upcoming summer festivals, Coachella, stuff like that. I mean, I think it'd be cool. People would be looking at you for sure. So sure, call me a clown makeup, call it whatever you want. I had fun making this tutorial and I hope you guys like it. So the first thing I'm going to be using is my Krylon UV Day Glow palette. You can get this on eBay and it has all these neon crazy colors. And I'm going to be using the orange one. So to do that, I'm just going to take a drop of water, put it on the paint, because these are water activated, so you need to use them wet. And then just take, I like using concealer brushes for this, and using it like you would watercolors. And then I'm just going to put this on the lid. Try and get it as even as possible. Sometimes you can see it doesn't go on so super evenly. Since I'm going to be covering this with eyeshadow, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it does help to have it, you know, as even as you can get it. Next thing I'm going to use for this is my Sleek Makeup Acid Palette. I get asked about this palette a lot. It has all these bright colors. They will not sell it to people in the US because the FDA does not have neon eyeshadows approved. I've never had problems using neon eyeshadows on my eyes. These are obviously okay to use in the UK. The FDA just hasn't approved them, but the FDA hasn't approved a lot of things that you can buy over the counter and in stores. So anyways, if you don't have access to this, I would try eBay if you really want it, or the 120 palettes that you can get on eBay or from Coastal Scents or BH Cosmetics. Those have bright colors as well, so you can use something like that. So first color I'm going to use is this neon pink. This is just a Sigma E55 brush. I'm just going to pat it on top of the neon orange because I want it to look really even and smooth. So patting it on is the easiest way to do that. I'm going to flip my brush over and take the bright orange and pat it in the center. And I'm also going to just go right over where the pink is, just so that it's a nice smooth line. I don't want there to be any weird blending, so I want this to look nice and smooth. And then I'm just going to tap off as much of the orange as I can, and then I'm going to go for the yellow. And I really like the way that the yellow looks over the orange Krylon. Just kind of warms it up, because you can see here it's a very weird light, like a greenish yellow almost. It is very bright, but I feel like it has a little bit of a green tint to it. I don't know, maybe that's just me. I'm going to pull the yellow up just a little bit just to soften the edges on the orangey base. Next thing I'm going to do is take a pencil brush, and I'm going to take this shade up here, right here, and I'm just going to angle this into the inner crease. It's not even really where my eye crease is, it's where the orbital bone is, so if you press, you can feel the bone right there. So I want the majority of that color to be right down the nose, on like the side of the nose. And I'm going to pull it over to the crease and just kind of have it fade out where the yellow is. I'm going to take some of the purple and just go right in there is where I want it to be the darkest. I'm actually going to do the purple and then mix it with just, oops, I think I touched that blue. I don't want that blue, or that's gray. But I'm going to take the purple and just a touch of the black. Just a little bit, just to make it a little bit darker. Right there. That's the only spot I really want that to be. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is to add that little bit of white right there. And to do that, I have this Makeup Forever Aquarelle. And it's a white, like a paint, basically. It's an eyeliner, I guess, but it's essentially like a paint. So I'm just going to take a very small brush. And there's just a little bit on the cap. I only want a tiny bit on my brush, otherwise this will get all over. I'm kind of just going to fill in that empty area. Okay, so once we've got something that is pretty close to what's on the other side, I'm going to cover this with the red duochrome from the Naked Cosmetics Ivory Stack. Someone apparently in the apartment below me is building a freaking apartment inside of their apartment, so I'm sorry if you hear a weird knocking sound. It's been happening for like the past hour. I guess I'm going to do my liner. So I'm going to do a design over here, so I'm not going to have it exactly the same as on the other side, but we'll do something relatively close. Originally I used the Stila glitter eyeliner in Bora Bora, but I ended up covering it with something else, so I'm going to do the same thing on the other side just so that it doesn't look like two different colors. So I'm just going to take this and line my lash line. So then I'm going to try and do the inner corner. Usually, whoa, hitting my camera. Usually when I do this I'm like 2 inches away from my mirror, so it's a little difficult to do it and keep you guys in frame. So I'm going to try. I just kind of like to try and do, at least that's really bad, a straight line from the lower or the upper lid and then connect it. So now I'm going to cover this with Beach Gem, I think is what it's called. It's a Lancome liner. And this will just make it not so bright and it gives it a little bit of glitter. And then under the eyes, I'm just going to use the green in the UV Day Glow palette from Krylon. And I'm just using just a tiny bit under the eyes. And I'm just going to cover it with the super ridiculous toxic neon green in the acid palette. So the next thing I did was I took this MAC Technicolor in Artistic License. Kind of a waste of time because it doesn't show up very brightly. But I really tried to pile it onto the waterline. And since it's not going to show up how I want it to, I'm just going to take a liner brush and an Inglot shade very similar to MAC's Electric Eel. And if you have sensitive eyes, this is probably not something you want to do. But I'm just going to put it on the waterline. Alright, so now I'm just going to curl my lashes. This is my Armani Ice to Kill mascara. And then I'm just going to apply my Sugar Pill lashes. And then for my brows, basically what I did was I just went back to this palette and I mixed the pink and the raspberry shade. And that's the inner part of the brow. And then the purple. The outer. Kind of make those two meet together. And then that's all for the eye look. So now we'll move on to the design. This is a Real Techniques brush. It's one of the Samantha Chapman, the Pixie Boo ones. It's perfect for what I'm going to do. So I'm going to, back to my Krylon, I'm going to use the neon pink this time. So what I'm essentially going to do for this is a flower. But I'm only going to do, I think 3 or 4 petals. It's just going to be on the side of my face. So I'm going to move you down a little bit. There we go. I'm going to start right about here on my brow. Create the petals. And fill it in. I'm going to use the yellow this time, and I'm just going to kind of fill in the center here and bring it upwards into the flower. I'm just going to lightly blend this with my finger. I'm just patting over it so that the colors blend a little bit better than they were. And then I'm going to go back with my Sleek palette. So I'm going to go with pink, I'm going to start with the lightest color. So I'm going to start with the yellow. And I'm going to pat it all on top of the part where I put the yellow. And then just kind of bring it upwards into the flower. I'm going to go with the orange. And get the pink. And this is going to be a little bit more precise than the rest. I want to go on the edges to the tip of the flower. Just kind of blend along where the orange is. Alright, so this looks like crap on the video, but I swear it looks good in person. Anyway, so now I have a flat top brush and I'm mixing the purple and the raspberry shade. And I'm just going to outline the flower. Okay, so I went a little crazy and I forgot to turn the camera back on. I don't really remember where I was. I think I was outlining. So I was outlining and then I added a little bit of the raspberry color inside, and then I outlined again with a little bit of the black and the purple, and then I outlined the whole thing in a white eyeliner. So I'm sorry, I totally didn't show the majority of that. But it took a long time. So I really hope it doesn't look like crap on the computer. It looks good in real life, I swear, it's on my life. But on my monitor, it kind of looks like crap, so that would suck really bad. So instead of doing a blush and stuff, I'm just gonna do these little flowers on my cheeks on this side of my face. So I'm just gonna probably do like 3 more. So what I'm doing is just kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then little ones. And then I take a pencil brush and just do a spot in the center. Next one, I'm gonna mix the pink and the purple. I'll make the center of that one green. Should we do one more? Yeah, we could do one more. Here? Yeah, we'll do a little one. That one came out kind of silly. That one's the special one. Lips. I think I don't know if I want to do anime, if it's going to be too much, so I guess we'll find out. No, I guess we're doing anime. This the OCC lip tart, by the way. I'm gonna take my Inglot palette and use the yellow eyeshadow. And there we go. This is absolutely the most ridiculous look I've ever done in my life, and I love it. Alright, so that is all for the Morphlings, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!